Hey everybody, happy Sunday to you. Well, I wanted to throw out a video on some likely scenarios as we go forward here. And of course, you with the countdown to the inauguration, you got 9 days to get those heavily regulated items in your possession. So again, as every day goes by, I'm sure it's going to get tougher to obtain those things. So you might want to get on the stick and get your hands on those regulated items sooner rather than later. But anyway, what is likely to go down? The first thing I'm going to say is just insulate yourself. Prepping is all about readiness and insulating yourself to respond to certain events and withstand chaos and make things a little bit easier in your life should things happen or things become difficult to survive in. So let's talk about the scenarios that are out there. And there's tons of them, and these are in no particular order. It's not like a top 10 list. These are things that I believe are most likely to occur. And not necessarily in any order, like I said, but I'll just go through them. So the first one that I'm pretty concerned about personally, and then for all of you as well, is the likelihood of economic, disruption and or collapse, especially with regard to the housing market and the stock market. 401ks, everybody's retirement's on the line, and man, that's a really tough one. Especially for older people that are within 10 to 20 years of retirement. Man, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow if that's the case that comes to fruition. But let's hope it doesn't. But economic collapse is one of the ones I'm really concerned about, to be honest. Another one is anti-government activities and slash rebellion. The possibilities of that, in my opinion, are pretty good based on the protests and the subsequent piercing of the perimeter to the Capitol building. I think that rebellion and anti-government activities are a very, very strong and popular possibility going forward, depending on the things that we talked about recently and things I talked about recently in my videos regarding further regulatory actions by the Biden administration, further issues where the vaccine becomes mandatory, things of that nature. Compulsory type of requirements put on the people, satisfy government, leadership or regulations or rules. Another one is military conflict. And while I don't really put that one at the top of the list, I think it still is a good possibility. There's just a lot of balls in the air right now. There's a lot of chess matches going on between us and our enemies, economically and militarily behind the scenes. I would highly suggest that everybody keep an eye on that, because that's a real game changer. I firmly believe that nobody wants to have a guerrilla warfare type of event here in America. There's just too many small arms on the street, and I mean, it would be a bloodbath. It would just be an absolute nightmare. So, barring that, the other options are pretty doggone, I would say, deliberate and nasty. You're talking about nukes and all kinds of other stuff, EMPs. That presents a whole other host of options. Germ warfare, which we're sort of in right now with this COVID thing. I'm leaning more of the opinion that it was weaponized to see what we see today, the end result was successful apparently. Another one is interruption of services. And that includes like blackouts, food distribution, uh, constriction of movement. You know, if the government, of course, in the interstates, the federal government pretty much controls the interstates, at least as far as the maintenance is concerned and the infrastructure. They might be able to do something with that to control movement between states. But anyway, interruption of services, electrical, water, utilities, gas, all that kind of stuff that falls under utilities. Food distribution, this trucker strike is something that you keep hearing about, at least I do. And that could come, still. So I would keep my eye on interruption of services, because, that is one way that they can grab a hold of the people pretty quick if you're not prepared. So again, that's another reason why we say to do what we do, and we choose to do what we do with regard to prepping, because we're prepared for things like that. We don't have to get out. We don't have to depend on Big Brother to provide for us. And then the last one I want to talk about, and certainly this list is not exhaustive, of course, but the last one I want to discuss is natural disasters. Blizzards, tornadoes, hurricanes, fires. And I'll put a slash on that and make it, medical disasters like COVID, pox, all kinds of stuff that is probably being worked on right now. Germ warfare, if you want to go that far. So natural disasters, interruption of services, military conflicts, anti-government activities / rebellion based on what the government does, and then economic collapse, or disruption, to say the least. Those are 5 areas that I really think we need to be cognizant of. And I'll say it again, I know that there's a war on the dollar right now internationally, and even saying that, if I were you, I would definitely try to pull some cash out as we go along here before the next 9 days is up, at least in a way to where, if there is a disruption in services and people only take cash, at least you can buy things and buy fuel to go where you need to go, or get what you need to get, most likely, at least some of it. So I would really grab some cash. I'm not telling you how much or whatever, but I would think, at least a few $100s, if not more, small bills to, possibly have to buy some things due to service interruptions, etc. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great, productive week coming up. I hope that everybody's able to take a deep breath and focus on what they need to focus on. Don't forget to pray. We gotta get better at that as a group and as a nation. And there's a lot of things going on, but we have to be able to go back and do the basics ourselves to make sure we're squared away. And don't forget that. So with that, everybody have a great, productive week. Keep prepping, stack it deep, and long live the Republic.